I know I am late to the party, but now that TBC is coming and all the people are going to ERA tomorrow, actually I'm gonna send my warrior in there. That's gonna be pretty sweet. If you play Horde, we're gonna do some raids too. Now I got in 2 factions. But as you guys know, in Anniversary, GDKPs are banned. We got the announcement for TBC coming out, and as far as we know so far, there was no confirmation or denial that the GDKP ban was gonna be gone. So as far as we are concerned, GDKPs are not coming back. Blizzard said nothing on the matter. That would imply that the status quo is gonna continue. Maybe they don't, maybe they are waiting to say something about it. I believe they are just gonna keep banning GDKPs, but there has been something going on in Anniversary for a while now, and there is 2 types of runs actually, and in a way I think they are a lot worse than the GDKPs they were trying to stop, which is very ironic. Now, first of all, this is the most obvious one. This is the one that all the YouTubers back a month ago were talking about. The infamous Black Lotus GDKP. As you can see right here in this very post, damn it, that's pixelated. They sold a Hungering Cold for 387 Black Lotuses. How much is that in money? It is like 19,000 gold, more or less, depends on the price he got on the Lotuses. It is a lot of money, okay? Nowhere close to the money they would sell a Hungering Cold back in like 2019 Classic. That was probably we were looking at 80k back then. I guess there is logistical challenges with trying to trade 400 Black Lotuses. Like, how much backspace is that? That's a problem. If you look at the small letter of the rules they made for GDKPs, it only affects gold. Does it mean that Blizzard is not gonna ban you because it technically doesn't break the rules? Of course not. Blizzard can ban you for any or no reason. It's in the terms of service. It literally says they can ban you for whatever they feel like doing. So no, I am not gonna tell you that you are not gonna get banned for doing a Black Lotus GDKP, even though technically it is legal. There's the other problem, of course, of even if it is legal, this happened to me actually. I did a GDKP the week before they got banned, and people mass reported me anyway. I didn't get banned, but I easily could have got banned. You will have to do it on the down low on a Discord or something, because if you advertise a Black Lotus DKP on trade chat, even though you did nothing wrong, people that do not like GDKPs are gonna mass report you, so yeah. There is, however, something that I consider a lot more toxic, if you wanna call it, a lot more nefarious than GDKPs. This is perfectly legal, and it is 20 times more cancer than GDKPs ever were, okay? Flask donation raids. What is that? It's very simple. You give a flask to the raid leader, and in return you get an extra soft res in your item. So it's a 2 SR run, for example, you get 3. If I donate 20 million flasks, I get 20 million SRs, and that means I have infinite rolls until I win an item. So it is like a GDKP, except you never make a cut out of it. So if you're a raider, good luck. Only the raid leader gets to make money. And presumably, like, his inner circle that are facilitating the raid are also getting some of the flasks. But yes, people are finding 20 million different ways around GDKPs, and for obvious reason. Raiding in Anniversary is unbelievably expensive, and people are looking for creative ways to not have to pay for the raids. I will tell you something, and I guess this is not something I actually talk about much. When they banned GDKPs in SOD, I never minded it, for the very simple reason that consumables were worthless in SOD. They flooded the economy with a bunch of free materials and stuff, so raiding in SOD all the way until Scarlet Enclave is when it went to hell, but before that, it was very cheap. I didn't have to farm gold at all. Now, however, with the economy in the state that it is, I am feeling the pain of no GDKPs. I will do you one better. I think GDKPs are a band-aid solution, the same way that banning GDKPs is a band-aid solution, because if the economy was not in this toxic, impossible to pay for state, where you need at least 1,000 gold a week to raid, well, probably GDKPs would not feel so necessary. But Blizzard is not gonna fix the economy. They put a buff on Terracone, so we got that going on. I will never take credit for it, but that was totally me. You can thank me for that if you wanna drop a sub, and thank Medina for getting Blizzard to put the Terracon changes in TBC. Nobody's gonna know. You don't have to tell me. I will know though. But honestly, this is the meta that I expect TBC to develop into if GDKPs are not back. And I am a Prod Paladin and I have no scrupulous, whatever you wanna call it. I would be pretty happy to do this. You can only roll on DST, Dragon Spine Trophy, easily the most fought over, the most sought after item in all of TBC. You can only roll on Dragon Spine Trophy with a Flask or a Flask Summon Money or whatever. It's technically not a GDKP. You can still sell an item or the ability to roll on an item. That's perfectly allowed. I say it is HR, it is hard reserve, and I just find like a bunch of contacts, that wanna buy it, and I just tell them, yeah, I would sell an HR, I would do it. Now, I am not a jerk, I would actually get my boys fed if I do that. I wouldn't hoard all the money that came out of that, but it is really enticing because if you're a swiper and you play a hunter, let's be honest, hunters are the biggest swipers in this game. So from my experience in MOP, I can assure you hunters love swiping, not in vanilla because hunters are worthless in vanilla, right? They do no freaking damage, but in TBC where they actually are really good, that's different. I am probably looking at 20,000 gold, easily 20,000 gold, to sell a Dragon Spine Trophy HR to somebody. All I have to do is facilitate a rule and fill it with people that do not need Dragon Spine Trophy. I can do you one better. I can sell a roll and you people can buy multiple rolls, and that way I can take multiple people to gamble for it. I don't care. It's not my DST. I am not saying I will do it. Okay, I am not saying I will do it. But somebody will. And this will be the meta for TBC. I think the same way that GDKPs came out as a way to abuse the economy or to take advantage of the economy or whatever you want to call it, this is the next logical step after GDKPs are banned. If you try to suppress economical activity, it just morphs into something else. The money has to go somewhere, and this is what's going to happen. And it sucks because this is 20 times more toxic. If somebody buys DST in a GDKP, why would you be mad? You're making a lot of money. Now, the raid leader makes all the money, so it's even worse. With the benefit of hindsight, I think Blizzard's point was valid, okay? I think Blizzard's point that GDKPs were eroding guild behavior, I agree. But the part that they never understood is that GDKPs were so prominent was because the economy was cancer and they had no intention of ever fixing the economy, so of course it stayed cancer. I feel if Blizzard truly believes that getting rid of GDKPs is the way to go, what they should do instead of banning GDKPs would be fixing the economy, finding a way, the best way they can find to lower the price of every consumable, lower the cost of raiding for everybody, and the problem would take care of itself. Will it happen though? No, it will not. At the end of the day, Blizzard has this is a problem that has been a part of Blizzard's culture long before Classic, and Blizzard has a very strict vision of how the game should be played, and any deviation from that, even if it is not hurting anybody, they do not like. That's the real truth of the matter. That's the reason GDKPs got banned in the first place. It is not that they believed GDKPs were actually like a massive problem, or that they were hurting people, or that they were making people quit the game. They just believed that's not the way you should be playing WoW. So yeah, I wanted to give you an update of the meta that's forming on right now. I will do a guild in TBC Classic. I hope I didn't scare you from doing a guild in TBC Classic with me. Join the Discord for more information. We need a name. We're gonna form it on the pre-patch day. I have my own little plan for making a ton of gold at launch. It's not gonna be this, okay? It is not gonna be the Flask raid. But man, it's tempting. There's a lot of gold to be made in here. And technically not breaking any single rule. So yeah, you think about that, Blizzard. You think about that. And subscribe, join the Discord, and thank you for watching.